Well, hello everyone. This is Bob Roton, and welcome to Northaven Voices. Today I have the great opportunity to be visiting with Marlene Haskell. Hi Marlene, how are you?
Hi, Bob. I'm doing great. Thanks.
Well, thank you for allowing us to talk to you and interview you, and it's just a pleasure. So we're grateful that you'll take the time to visit with us.
I'll be happy to do that.
All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to Northaven?
Okay. I am one of those Yankees that moved to Texas because of a job change for my husband. I came here not knowing what to expect. I was told that there were going to be tumbleweeds all over the place and guns in the back of people's pickup trucks. So I really wasn't. But when I got here, I found out the blue skies were absolutely fabulous. And of course, in Ohio and Illinois, we had very dreary days and not the sunshine. But I enjoyed the skies and the skyline of Dallas and so on.
Yeah.
So it was really, it turned out to be a very nice change for me. And I've certainly enjoyed my time here in Dallas. I've worked for about 30 years, 15 of those years at Texas Instruments as a financial analyst. But then in the early 1990s, I had a divorce and was having a new experience in that I've never lived in an apartment or really had been by myself. So I did that, and then I became aware that just having coworkers in my circle was not going to be enough, and I was more social, and I had to do something differently.
Mm-hmm.
I had attended Northaven several times with one of my sons and his partner, so I had some idea of the church, but I thought, I really need to see what else is out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I took time to visit anywhere up maybe 5 or 6 churches, but they just didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hesitated, but I thought, well, let me check with Alan and David. How will it be to have your mom in the church you're part of? And they told me I was absolutely crazy. So I felt at Northaven I could find friends, and it provided more to me than I ever imagined would happen. I came to the church, and then the first or second Sunday I was there, well, after I decided I was going to be joining it, but anyhow, I was there, and there was an announcement made that they needed some volunteers to help count the money after church and so on. So I thought, I can do that. So it was Jerry Hastings, and I went up and volunteered myself. Well, kind of looked at me and said, well, you're not a member, and I don't know, handling the cash, and well, we'll have to see. I thought, that's fine. Okay. I just didn't think about that. So then later he came back to me and said, well, we decided that maybe it would be all right because your son's a member here already, and you would be an honest person. So I thought it was an interesting start, but so that I started off really as a volunteer.
Oh, sweet.
And then I started, participating in other things. And for Northaven, or for me from Northaven, I was able to take the trip to Guatemala and work as a dental assistant. Not being familiar with dental work, but hey, it was an interesting experience and something I had just never considered.
Yeah.
And then I always liked music, and I joined the choir and played the bells for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Then there were some friends that I met in the church that we clicked, so to speak, and through the years, we someone in the church, I can't remember for sure who it was, anyhow, nicknamed us the goddesses. So there are 6 of us that for over 20 years have met together and traveled together. And we would meet every week, either in our homes or go out for food and so on. But the traveling together, we went on camping trips and whitewater rafting and New York City, California. So it just that's really been quite special. As I say, I just didn't realize how it wasn't just going to be a member of a church, but how much opportunity I was given to grow and expose myself to things I hadn't thought about. So I've really enjoyed that.
It was quite a big change for you then to be married for that length of time and then say that I have to start a new life, a new identity then. So that was took a lot of courage, I imagine there was a lot of fear in that.
There was, and I think some of it, you just don't realize till you're in it. Mm-hmm. And then you see how things progress. And then I have 3 children, and I'm fortunate all 3 of them live in the Dallas area. Mm. So that's been nice to have them around. And I have twin grandchildren that are juniors in college.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's close by, except of course now with the pandemic, only through Zoom or
right.
and we don't have the social time at all. But yes, it was a change, and I didn't mention my son came out to me for about being gay, and I had no idea. I knew nothing about gays, and this was in the early 90s, before I was divorced. So I was trying to find a way to learn more about this and to understand it. And then I made a connection with PFLAG. Mm. And that was helpful to me. After joining Northaven, then my daughter came out to me, and which again was another surprise. But I felt like I needed these organizations as well, and within the church, Parents Reconciling Network was another group that I participated in, and going to some conferences that they had, and one year I did go to annual conference as well, and trying to encourage change to the discipline. So that here too, having more support rather than just being by myself, and it was eye-opening in many different ways.
Well, what I think is beautiful of that is the fact that when your son came out to you, you were like, I don't understand this. I don't know what to do with this. And so instead of running from it, you just engaged to learn how to best support him through his life through that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Especially in the 90s, So.
Yeah, it was a little different then. So
yeah. But that's beautiful. So.
Well, on some of it too at Northaven, I've been on many different committees, chaired some. I helped with one of the first times when we met for Black Tie to submit the proposal and have open houses and that. And as I said, with Parents Reconciling Network, I was doing that. So, and now I'm retired and in book clubs, which I hadn't been in before, and just doing a variety of things and enjoying life.
Good. So what would you say, is there any Bible story or scripture that comes to mind that leads you into like this change that you went through, being married and being single? And was there anything that helped you move, that gave you strength, if you will? So.
Not really that I can think of. I don't think of myself as a really, I don't want to say religious person, I guess, in that I have not read all of the Bible, and
Yeah,
I recognize the verse, but I don't know what chapter it's in
right.
or things like this. So,
That's me.
but you know, I, there's several verses that when I hear them, I recognize them, and I think, oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Um, like the um, love. Let's see, if I can remember the faith, hope, and love. Love is the greatest. That's in Corinthians, I believe, but I don't
Yeah.
know right now. I can't say it the way it is. Um, so, but anyways, not. I think really, I wasn't at the time of the divorce. I wasn't at a church, and the first couple of years. Well, I'm not sure. I don't remember how quickly I joined the church afterwards, but it definitely was people within the church, and as I say, having the different um, interests that I could develop and be part of with others. It was
That community of that connection, which we're so,
right,
we
right.
all look for that. We all want that community where we feel like we have the support and we belong. So,
Mm, yeah,
and we can contribute and serve, like, yeah. So,
true.
yeah. So, um, what would you say brings you joy?
Music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I said, the skies uh, and butterflies.
Uh,
Um, hearing church bells ring.
oh,
Um, and I guess nature as a whole, I really
mm-hmm.
uh, really enjoy that. It just seems so amazing how the various things happen and like in the word grounded, is it, or grounded, the book we read,
Grounded book, grounded.
that the chapter about soil.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I couldn't believe it. I just thought this is so interesting. So
Yeah.
I have my own copy.
Yeah, I'm still reading that book too.
Yeah, I haven't.
I love it.
Book clubs I haven't gotten it completed, that grounded completed yet, but I have found it very insightful.
Yeah, good. Now, you told me a story, and I'm not sure if if you shared that you had that I thought was just a beautiful story. That was about your first trip to Europe and how that happened.
Yes. Well, I had met Adriana Coble-Frankel at Northaven, and we visited and so on. And then she invited me to come over for dinner. She was having some kind of a dinner party, so I knew nobody else. But anyways, okay. So I went, and as the evening ended, she had been talking about her trip coming up to Italy, and that she, as being a sculptress, she had been going there for 5 years at least, or maybe at that time even longer, for the month of June, and working with a sculptor there in Pietrasanta.
Mm-hmm.
And she looked at me and she said, "Well, why don't you come? Where I'm staying, it's another bedroom, and you can be there, and we can do that." Well, I was just flabbergasted, and I couldn't answer her. That's one thing. It takes me a while to make a decision. So I couldn't answer her right then. I said, I have to get back to it. And the more I thought about it, I was just amazed how she really didn't know me, and she would invite me to be with her for a week
Mm-hmm.
in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So I said yes. And it was my first trip to travel by myself,
Mm-hmm.
to be out of the country,
Mm-hmm.
to make transfers from Paris to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an experience. And of course, there were no cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had set it up with me that she couldn't call me, but she would be at the airport
Mm-hmm.
to pick me up in Pietrasanta.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I landed in Paris, and went over to the Italian airline counter, was greeted with the fact that there was an airline strike and that no planes were going. So I kind of panicked because I don't know Italian, and I can speak some French, but not that much. And so I didn't know what to do. And so many of the passengers, of course, are huddling around and trying to figure out how do you get from point A to point B. And there was a group from California that was there with their instructor of adult women. There probably were about 8 to 10. And I started having conversations with them. And so they invited me to join them. And whatever they figured out, just come with them. That would be fine. So I did that. And in the meantime, Adriana had called my son, Alan, and asked if he knew where I was. And he went into, "What? You mean you've lost my mother?" and so, as I say, with no cell phones, we didn't know. And so I couldn't, of course, contact any of them. So anyways, from Paris, we took a bus, and I can't remember. I think we went to Rome. I can't remember for sure. And then from Rome, we took a taxi to Lucia. And then from Lucia, I was able to get to Pietrasanta. I think it was a day or two later. I kind of, for some of that, you kind of push out of your head. So, but we and she's showing me all the museums and just as buildings and so on. And that was the first place that I heard the church bells and realized how they were just great. So that's a great memory. And then anyhow, Alan found out where I was, and Adriana found me, and I had a great 2 weeks.
Well, there you go. So it just shows us that we can just take risk and be okay, right?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
That's right.
Gone back to Europe and traveled some more. So.
That's exactly right. So, well, Marlene, we've come to the end of our time, but thank you so much for taking time to be with us. And we appreciate you. And I know that I've worked with you for a while on some of the committees, so I really appreciate all what you do for the church, because I know you have done quite a bit. And you've been a good mentor for me in my process too. So thank you. And hopefully we'll get together soon.
Yes, and with being a member of the choir, I mean, we'd like to be back with that, but it's just not feasible at this time. But thank you for having the interview with me, and I've enjoyed doing it. And I have thoroughly enjoyed Northaven and appreciate all that it's given me.
Oh, good. Well, listen, you take good care, and you know that if you need anything, just let us know, okay?
I will. Thank you so much, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Bye.